Sperm whale. A click echoes through water so deep, no light has reached it in millions of years. The sperm whale is hunting. This is the largest toothed predator on Earth. Males can reach 60 feet long, weighing up to 45 tons. Nearly a third of their body is just head. Inside, it lies a mysterious waxy substance, spermaceti. Scientists still don't fully understand it. It may control buoyancy, focus sound like a lens, or even act as a battering ram. What we do know is terrifying. Sperm whales dive deeper than any other mammal, over 7,000 feet into the abyss, holding their breath for up to 90 minutes, all to hunt one thing: giant squid. In complete darkness, they use powerful echolocation clicks, reaching up to 230 decibels, loud enough to shake your body. Their skin is covered in circular scars, marks left behind from battles with squid in the deep. A war we can't see, but one that's constantly happening far below the surface. Humpback whale. The ocean has a composer, and it sings. Humpback whales produce some of the most complex songs in the entire animal kingdom. Each song can last 10 to 20 minutes, repeating for hours. But here's what makes it incredible. The songs evolve and spread across oceans like viral trends. Whales on opposite sides of the planet, eventually singing the same melody. They grow up to 50 feet long, weighing around 40 tons. But their most striking feature, their massive pectoral fins, up to 16 feet long, nearly a third of their entire body. They use them to maneuver and perform. Humpbacks are famous for breaching, launching their entire bodies out of the water. No one knows exactly why, but when they do, it feels intentional. When feeding, they create bubble nets, spiraling walls of bubbles that trap schools of fish. Then they surge upward, mouths wide open. Precision, coordination, power, and sometimes compassion. Humpbacks have been observed intervening when orcas attack other animals, protecting species that aren't even their own. Gray whale. This is the longest migration of any mammal on Earth. The gray whale travels over 12,000 miles every year, from Arctic feeding grounds to warm lagoons in Mexico. They grow 40 to 50 feet long. Their bodies are covered in barnacles and parasites, giving them a rough, scarred appearance. But their behavior is what makes them unique. Gray whales don't hunt in open water. They dive to the ocean floor, roll onto their sides, and suck up sediment, filtering out tiny crustaceans from the mud, leaving behind feeding scars on the seafloor. But the most surprising part? They're friendly. In breeding lagoons, mothers bring their calves close to boats, allowing humans to touch them, something almost unheard of among large whales. But even they aren't safe. Fishing gear, ship strikes, changing Arctic food supplies. Still, they've survived extinction before. Twice. Minke whale small, fast, elusive. The minke whale survived because it wasn't worth killing, at least at first. Reaching only 20 to 30 feet long, they were too small for early whalers to target. So while larger whales were wiped out, minkes remained, until they didn't. Once bigger species disappeared, hunters turned to them. They became survivors of a broken system. Minkes are sleek and streamlined, built for speed, reaching up to 24 miles per hour. They usually travel alone or in pairs, avoiding attention. A white band across their fins flashes briefly when they surface. Then, they're gone. Hard to study, hard to track. Even today, they remain one of the least understood whales in the ocean. Right whale. They were called the right whales to kill. Slow swimmers, full of oil, and they floated when dead. That name nearly erased them from existence. Today, the North Atlantic right whale is one of the most endangered animals on Earth. only around 350 remain. They grow up to 55 feet long, with massive heads, making up a quarter of their body. Their black skin is marked by rough white patches, callosities. Each pattern is unique, like a fingerprint. They have no dorsal fin, just a smooth back rolling through the water. But their biggest weakness is how slow they are. They move at just 6 miles per hour, right through busy shipping lanes. Ship strikes kill them. Fishing gear entangles them. Nearly 85% of the population bears scars. Every death matters, because there are so few left that each one could be the difference between survival and extinction. Bowhead Whale. A whale surfaces, with a harpoon tip from the 1800s still embedded in its body. Alive. The bowhead whale may be the oldest living mammal on Earth. Some individuals have lived over 200 years, possibly more. They grow up to 60 feet long, with massive triangular heads built to break through Arctic ice up to 2 feet thick, just to breathe. They have the thickest blubber of any animal on Earth, up to 20 inches deep, protecting them in freezing waters that would kill most life instantly. Their baleen plates, the longest of any whale, filter tiny plankton from icy seas. They never leave the Arctic, perfectly adapted to one of the harshest environments on Earth. But even here, change is coming. Melting ice, more ships, more predators, and a world they've survived for centuries is starting to shift. Fin whale, the second largest animal to ever exist, and one of the fastest. The fin whale is built like a torpedo, reaching up to 80 feet long, weighing around 80 tons. They can swim at speeds of over 25 miles per hour. But what makes them truly strange is asymmetry. The right side of their jaw is white, the left, dark, a pattern unlike any other whale. Scientists believe they use it while hunting, flashing the white side to confuse schools of fish. Their calls are among the lowest on Earth. So deep, humans can barely hear them. But underwater, they travel for hundreds of miles. During the Cold War, their sounds interfered with submarine sonar. Even now, their biggest threat is speed. Because when something this massive moves that fast, ship collisions become deadly. Blue whale. This is the largest animal to ever live, not just in the ocean, on Earth, ever. Blue whales can reach over 100 feet long, weighing around 200 tons. Their heart is the size of a small car. Their tongue weighs as much as an elephant, and their appetite, up to 4 tons of krill every single day. They feed by engulfing massive amounts of water, then filtering tiny prey through baleen plates. Despite their size, they feed on some of the smallest creatures in the ocean. But what truly defines them is sound. Blue whales produce the loudest calls on Earth, up to 188 decibels, loud enough to travel over 1,000 miles underwater. You don't just hear it, you feel it. They migrate across entire oceans, from cold feeding grounds to warm breeding waters. Newborn calves are already massive, over 20 feet long, gaining 200 pounds per day. But even giants aren't safe. Whaling once reduced them from hundreds of thousands to just a few hundred. Today, they're still endangered. Ship strikes, noise pollution, climate change. Most people will never see one, despite their size, because they are not just animals. They are the limit of how big life on Earth can become